Greetings, you absolute peasants. 'Tis I, Lord Aristotle St. John Fanshawe Paw Billingshurst the Fourth, and I'm here today to take you on a little trip down Nostalgia Boulevard. Star Trek. Unification. Have you ever listened to an album specifically just for one or two songs, and then after two or three playthroughs another song, a song you almost skipped over previously, has grown on you? Soon its sentiment, in part due to its subtleties, have overtaken the other songs, the lead songs in the album, and lo and behold, this underrated piece has become your favourite. And then in all your excitement, you can't help but keep listening over and over and over again, cranking round and round the gramophone handle whilst dancing in your dead mother's jollies with one hand down your... Oh! Just me then. Alright, let me give you an example that should be obvious to anyone. Bartók. Everyone's favourite early 20th century Hungarian composer. As any old Billy Joel blogs knows, his most famous piece is probably Sonata for Two Pianos, but as we all know, it's clearly inferior to Concerto for Orchestra. I rest my case. Anyhow, all this is to bring us to 765-874 Unification. 765-874 Unification. It's not the catchiest of titles, I have to admit, and perhaps by that alone it could be overlooked. It's not like the Star Trek estate has been on course of late. But if one delves within Unification's sleek, standoffish exterior, the treasures within are surprising, rich, deep, and dare I even say, honest. A piece from the Roddenberry archive, an OTOY. This short, one of four as it happens, though the other three are no more than mere teasers and last typically less than 2 minutes, is a real diamond. A diamond in a sea of 21st century Star Trek excrement. William Shatner, 93 years old, once more reprises his role of James T. Kirk, likely for the final time. Here he has been digitally de-aged by some 30 years, so he's only in his 60s now. With he and others, the de-aging technology is good. It's not perfect and there is a very slight uncanny valley going on, but it's not enough to spoil what you're watching. It does make you appreciate how it'll only be a few years before this kind of thing is indistinguishable. Unification presumably continues Kirk's journey into the Nexus, as shown in 1994's film Generations. That's the one where he fought General Zod.
Kneel before Zod.
Separate from the main body of Star Trek, and possibly even its canon, this feels in many ways like a fan film, but I don't say that in a negative sense. IPs like Star Trek and Star Wars have a huge amount of fan films, I'm sure you've all seen them on YouTube, and though the quality may be variable, they're all made with love. Just look at Prelude to Axanar, a docudrama about Klingon aggression and encroachments into Federation space. If you haven't seen this and you're a lover of the original series, I thoroughly recommend this completely unofficial fan flick. Kickstarted, written and starring superfan Alec Peters, usually sticking yourself in your own amateur film conjures up images of Neil Breen and the like.
I'll take you out to dinner.
Leave me alone. I have a boyfriend.
Let's have
Get
it.
out of my
Let's
face.
have a
Leave
drink.
me
Let's
alone.
have a drink.
Leave me alone.
Let's have
I
a drink.
a boyfriend.
I'll meet
Get
you
out of my
back here
face.
at 8 o'clock.
But in Prelude to Axanar's case, any shortcomings by Peters is marvellously hidden. The production values are high and the solid writing is bolstered by veteran sci-fi actors such as Kate Vernon, Richard Hatch, and the recently deceased Tony Todd. Certainly some of the uniforms aren't correct, and Todd has a habit of pronouncing Inverness Inverness.
Arrogance occurred during the ambush of Inverness 5.
But I think the Candyman can get away with that.
Arrogance.
The problem that Peters had with Axanar is that he'd made it all off his own back. Funded by Kickstarter, he'd never obtained rights for any usage of the Star Trek IP. Whoops! The thing is, the estates of these properties don't tend to like random people making money off their product. I mean, just think about it. It'll be like if some fan went and painstakingly remade all of Series 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones and then made them good and... I I don't want to give too much away, as I think unification is something that shouldn't be told about, but experienced for oneself. And at 10 minutes long, what have you got to lose? But watching Kirk continue his journey into the Nexus, entering at first a paradise of a sort, and then being reunited with some of his old friends from his long life's adventures, some using original actors and others using stand-ins, composited with what is essentially deepfake technology, it's remarkably bittersweet. Sam Witwer portrays a yet younger, 30-something-year-old Kirk. The Kirk we know from the original series, it presumably being easier to use a young man as a stand-in. And I won't lie, seeing a young James T in his green gold shirt gave me chills. This is the magic we have lost in the entertainment world. Barely a word has been spoken, or is spoken in Unification, but it doesn't need to be. Everything is conveyed through expression, through feeling, through raw acting ability. I said before that Unification was honest, and I didn't choose that word through happenstance. This is an honest film, by which I mean the love in this for the source materials, its characters, its world. It's palpable. It has respect for what Star Trek was, for why we loved it, and doesn't set out to deconstruct and destroy its heroes, those we've idolised and cherished, doesn't turn them into dodgy old fools usurped by a wave of strong independent femi-lesbies, which is exactly what has been happening in anything Harrison Ford's been doing for the last 10 years or so. No, Unification is honest in what it is, and it reverts back to universal values, values like friendship, loyalty, honour, and respect. You know, the stuff we used to love Star Trek for. And in the current state of the entertainment business, what a breath of fresh air that is. Ta-ta!